Morton, Valence are a five-piece London band who agreed to be the subject of this documentary. We were told that everyone was very busy over the week we were filming, but we gave it our best shot anyway. This mobile phone footage is from a gig they did in Soho the week before. Someone was dancing in front of the phone. We found this shot of Hacker, the singer and writer in the band, and then sent him an email. We called Virginie, the French drummer.
Hi, is Virginia there?
She told us she had left the band and moved back to France.
So we're cool now?
Leo, yeah, Leo.
Leo is Morton Valence's Colombian bass player. We were warned that he never answers the phone. Eventually, we got hold of Piers and Dave, two music promoters who go under the name of Turning Worm.
We make money out of other people's misfortunes. Their misfortunes being that they've chosen to try and have a career in the music industry. We don't just put gigs on for people. We kind of like try and get involved with bands that we really like. They started out and they were a bit of a sort of like it was like Anne and Hacker as a kind of like modern, in a cabaret almost style act. And then Chuck came in with a lot of programming, and that changed the whole, shifted the goalposts. And Chuck left, but he left a sort of sound imprint or a direction that meant that Hacker picked up the ball from where Chuck had left off and ran in a sort of electro direction, but using live instruments instead of programming. They look good as a band just because their personalities come out in the way that they dress and the way that they perform and the way...
Nobody was calling us back, so we went to Camden, the birthplace of rock and roll, and tested Morton Valence's new single on unsuspecting young people.
Yeah, I quite like it.
It's very nice.
Oh yeah, it's good. It is good stuff. Yeah, you could hear them on the radio or something, yeah.
让自己心情比较平复的。
No, me siento bien cuando escucho esa música. Me relaja.
It makes me feel happy. I like it.
It's just like quite relaxing, mellow.
Then we got hold of Anne, singer, keyboardist and girlfriend of Hacker. Unfortunately, the phone signal made this sound on the recording. The fifth member, Gigi, was in Shanghai that week. She had made a Cantonese version of Cameo's classic with the band. Her boyfriend, Julian, had glandular fever, but he did manage to send us an email that we dramatised.
I saw Morton Valence support British Sea Power at a small gig in Brighton. I saw them again a few weeks later at Cargo in Shoreditch, where I coincidentally bumped into an old work colleague nicknamed Hungry Dog.
We tracked down Hungry Dog in a pub. He was looking for inspiration to write a song, but was happy to talk with us after we bought him a drink.
And 1 minute they're doing something which is quite easy listening, and then the next minute they're doing like a punk song or something. So I think that's one of their strengths really. I just think that the music's got commercial potential. It's just a matter of getting the right people behind you.
The whole band are very pleasant, especially Leo, who's probably the least offensive and most carefree person within the M25.
Still no word from Hacker, so we sent another email. By chance, we bumped into Morton Valence's biggest fan.
They are so much better than Oasis. I can't even put it into words. They're just so underground. They're just the voice of the generation. They've got a brand new look that nobody's ever had before. They've got a brand new sound. They're just so underground. As I say, they're very underground. So I think I must have been to just about every record shop in London, and eventually I had to buy it on the street.
We then travelled to Hackney, where the new 7-inch single had recently been pressed and mastered. The area wasn't that welcoming, But we persevered, even though we couldn't film inside the building. The man we met didn't know who Morton Valence were.
Last Tuesday, you master for a band called Morton Valence. Do you know anything about the band?
No.
Like, do you listen to any of their music?
No. Could have been anyone come through. Could have been Bob Marley walked through the door. No. They're just, as I said to you, they're just catalogue numbers. All jobs, it doesn't matter who they are, they're just catalogue numbers.
Hacker still hadn't called us back, so we looked at the band's website and found a clue as to where he lived. His street had recently been in the news as a suspected terrorist had been arrested 2 doors down from Hacker's flat. Sure enough, the still from the website matched our shot. Not surprisingly, no one was home. Not even the suspected terrorist. Hacker and Anne's bikes were parked outside. We'd heard that Hacker's front wheel had been nicked and decided to reconstruct the crime. We asked in the local off-licence, and they hadn't seen Hacker either. The local pub was closed down. It had been called the Phoenix, but Phoenix had fallen off the wall. The man in the passenger seat of this car mugged us while we were setting up the Phoenix shot. He stole a silver chain with a diamond-encrusted Playboy bunny on it from one of the crew. I told the man that he couldn't do that and to give it back. He did as he was told. As they tried to roar off, their car stalled. The crew laughed, and I thought it best we leave the neighbourhood. Needless to say, there were lots of police in the area and helpful tips on the street. The crew were exhausted after all the action and fell asleep on the tube. We finally set up an interview with Hacker in a recording studio. He wasn't very forthcoming.
Dude, man, I'm too busy.
Morton Valence is also the name of a place in Gloucestershire. Their new single is released sometime in 2005. They might be available for interviews, but I doubt it.